Good evening, everyone, and we're going to start the roundtable talk by introducing ourselves. I will go first. My name is Teresa Lewis. I'm the president of X's and O's mentorship program for childcare providers. And we'll start with Ms. Yancey.
My name is Yancey James. I am the owner of Great Love Childcare.
My name is Sarah Coleman, and I'm an early childhood instructor with our local community college, Bishop State.
Hello, I'm Melvin Williams Jr. I'm the owner and executive director at Grand Bay Preparatory Academy.
Good afternoon. My name is Alicia McCants, the owner of New Age Academy.
Awesome. So now we're going to go and start with our first question, which is filled with purpose. So why do you love what you do, which is childcare? And once again, we'll start with Yancey.
I love what I do. I think I lead with my heart, basically. I love the children that I take care of. I love helping the families. I left the school system to do it. I felt like the school system was kind of holding me back from, being me and being able to love the children the way I wanted to love them. And so when COVID hit, I was able to step out on faith and open up my daycare, and I don't regret it. I loved it ever since.
Absolutely. I love that you say you don't regret it. We don't want to ever regret something that we have passion for, right?
Right.
And so that, with me, starting at 18 years old, working in a child care center was my passion. Like, I loved it. I worked in an infant room. Yes, 18 years old. I'm not going to tell y'all what my age is today, but it's been a while. It's been a while. And I went on from there to continue to work in early childhood. I did work for the school system and with community action programs. I had other Head Start programs. And then that led me to now teaching other students, future teachers, to go into that direction. In which, that is even more passion that I have, because I've seen so many negative things be said about educators and becoming educators, and now I get to be able to reverse that negativity.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
Being an instructor in this in the program.
Well, I never really saw myself in the field, to be honest. I majored in political science, and I intended to go that route, but I found a position that was open for a health and safety compliance manager in early childhood. So I took advantage of that, and I found that I love protecting children. So I found my purpose that way.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I love working in the childcare industry, and I came about it by accident in that I worked in corporate for a utility company for 19 years. In 2017, my position dissolved. The company was bought out. I was no longer needed. Searching and trying to find a new niche for me, or what I wanted to be when I grew up.
Right.
I fell into the childcare industry because I became a grandmother, and it became time for him to find a center to go to after school. And in doing that, it was on my heart to see what I could do to pour back into him, because now I got somebody else to grow with. And hence came New Age Academy. And I'll say that of all the jobs that I've ever had, I started out at age 14 as Louis Lightning Bug, believe it or not. And in doing that, of all the jobs that I've had, I love this. I wake up on the bad days, the good days, looking forward to seeing my littles, being able to pour into their households, taking them and letting them know that education can be just as fun as it is as playing with a car or a video game. So I just love what I do. I love working with the kids. I wake up every day. My motto at my center is changing lives on purpose for a purpose. And that's just what I do each day.
I love that. So a lot of people know my story, but my story started with my 1-year-old son. And I was unemployed, but I didn't have anywhere for him to go. And I started working at Watch Me Grow Child Development Center on Wolf Ridge Road under the leadership of Ms. Hazel Gardner. I worked there for 16 years. Both sets of my boys grew up in that daycare center. I learned a lot from her. hence leaving and departing. I opened my own daycare, home daycare, which is X's and O's Preschool Academy. So, but the reason why I got into it, I'm going to be completely transparent. I did not want to. And when I first got into the field, I felt like I didn't want to babysit everybody else's kids. I feel like I was babysitting everybody else's kids, and everybody was dropping their kids off and leaving and going to do something more productive than me. That's how I felt. Like years ago, I want to say maybe 2006, I felt that way. And it grew on me. About year 10, I didn't realize that we were doing this for a purpose. I didn't know about social emotional development. I didn't know about fine motor, gross motor. I didn't understand the complexity of when a child enters your facility, that is their beginning start. Yeah. You're going to shape and mold how that child is going to turn out as a teenager, as an adult, because that is their first experience with you. I didn't know that it had purpose. And so as time progressed, I learned it had purpose, and I wanted to feel that purpose to the best of my abilities. And so, yes, that is my story. So